One of the best close quarter self-defense tools you can use is the walking cane for self-defense. I'm going to show you some things that you can do immediately if it's your first time handling a self-defense cane or an everyday walking cane, or if you've been training for a while. We're going to talk about close quarters combat. What happens when you're in close, the bad guy closed the distance too fast, caught you off guard, you missed the first part of such situational awareness. First part of self-defense is always situational awareness, but somehow they got through your guard. You'd like to keep them back as far as you can, especially if they have something like this. This is always going to be a lot longer than a knife. So if they do have this and you have this, you still have a reach advantage most of the time. But what happens when they come too close and now you're so close, you have to immediately start to defend yourself. You've got to strike. You've got to go all in. What techniques you're going to use? We're going to talk about that right now. Let me adjust the bag a little bit so you can see just a little bit more of what we're talking about. Depending on how you're holding the cane, and that means either holding it here or holding it here. Shakescan says, nice knife, thank you. That's been floating around my life. It was my brother's for a long time. He passed and I picked it up when I was cleaning out his house. And I remember as kids, we used to mess around with that switchblade. Anyway, so I've got this cane in my hand. I can pick it into the other hand immediately. Let's say if they're this far away, just turning this wrist puts it in that other hand. I can now close quarters battle, close quarters self-defense. I can move in and strike, trying to go through the target. Good afternoon, Matthew. It's good to see you. Shakescan. Yeah, that's a fun memory for me. I bring it here, bring it right through his groin. I can step in, get even closer, two hands. Now, when you're close enough that he can touch you, you can touch him, you better be moving fast. You have to be explosive in all of your counter strikes. And the counter strike gives the wrong idea. That means that you're going to strike after him. I'd like you to strike first. If you realize he's close at distance, especially if he's got a knife or something like that, you're in this position, don't wait to try to block that knife or parry or move it away. Don't wait until his hands are on you to try to bring it over and pull him down. You can do all that, and I want to show you how to do that. But instead of trying to counter his moves, I want you to be the first mover. If his hands are on you, or he's made contact, or he's about to, stick that right through the middle of his body. Just by turning your hand to here, you can lift this arm, this front arm, and change the angle of your attack for self-defense. That means here you're going through his midsection, you're hitting him low. Lifting this up just a little bit means you're now going in through the throat, in through the face. Matthew says, immediate follow through. Yes, I like to say immediate, explosive, and direct, or direct, immediate, direct, and explosive, right? Immediate means don't hesitate. The time for hesitation is over. Let's say they're behind you and you're caught off guard. All of a sudden, someone's on top of you, or they're grabbing on you, or you feel a strike. I want you to do the same thing. You're just going to throw it in that other hand, because putting two hands on your cane, your walking cane for self-defense, is going to give you a lot more options, a lot more things that you can do with speed, power, harder strikes. You can, from here, you can pop this back over your head. You can slide it up a little bit, drive that into his body. But if you get it into the other hand, you're going to have so much more power and force in your strikes. So I want you to think about that first. First principle of close quarters self-defense with a close quarters self-defense tool is going to be two hands are better than one. That's always going to be the first principle. From here, I'm going to go for the rest of the principles of self-defense. What am I going to target? What target can I remove or destroy? Close with and destroy. Seek and destroy, looking for nose, throat, ears, eyes, solar plexus, between the belly button and the private parts, into the private parts, and then after that, joints, ribs, floating rib, that last rib. But the first thing I'm going to do is just go straight in. Now, if they're even closer than that, and you still have it in this position, you can, let's say his hands are already on top of you, you're being choked, or you're being grabbed, or you're being punched, you're being stabbed even, you're going to swing this up and bring it into the other hand. That means even if he's face to face on top of you, you can still bring this up and bring this other hand and then rip it down between the two of you and blast straight through his face. So or into his throat. Either one are going to work, and you're going to be very strong again in this position. It's not a swinging move. It's not putting any pressure on your shoulders. You don't have to slide right to left or move your feet very much. It's too late for that. This is close quarters combat. You're in a confined space even. You can bring this straight up, bring it straight down, and then straight through. And now you've got that big nasty tooth. This is a self-defense cane. This is made by Cane Masters. This is the Dojo training cane. It's very inexpensive. It's extremely durable. It's fun to train with too, because it's got a little bit of weight behind it. This one is a full inch in diameter. You can also have this made in hickory and 7/8 inch, which means it's a smaller diameter, a little bit lighter, but exceptionally strong. Check that first link below if you want to see what these cost. And again, I promise you, it's not much. It's a lot cheaper to buy one of these than to buy those Carex canes for $9 or $10, the ones that I started with. And I would break one every couple of weeks, just get another one, because it's only $10. After you do that 4 times, you could have bought this one. And then you'd have this one for 2 years. And if you kept going at that rate, I would have had to buy, 30, 40 canes. Anyway, he's too close. I bring it up, or he's on top of me. He's choking, he's stabbing, he's punching. Bring it straight down. Think about if this has to rake. I'm going to try not to break another pair of glasses. Rake against his face, smashing his nose, ripping the teeth straight out of his throat or out of his mouth, and then blast as hard as you can with both hands. This is self-defense. This is not fancy. It's not supposed to be polite. It's not supposed to be pretty. Once you come down and you smash him this way, stick that tooth into some part of his head or his neck or his shoulder or his chest and rip to the side. You're gonna be extremely powerful. Hello, Richard, it's good to see you. Just bringing it straight across. And then once you're here, bring it back into his face, kind of like a back fist or a rifle butt attack. And it's so super simple, right? He caught you off guard. You would rather be like this. You'd rather be this far away. Or you'd rather have it here, snatch him, and then you'd like to be this far away. You'd like to be that. Ideally, that's how it goes. But what happens when it doesn't work out that way? Self-defense is not preordained. It's not choreography. It's not the movies. It'd be great if it was. If you could be, if you could be Jason Bourne or Bob Odenkirk. I don't know if you guys have seen this movie, Nobody. I just saw clips. One of my daughter's friends were over in the week for Halloween, and the guy was saying to me, "Hey, you got to check out this movie, Nobody." And I love this Bob Odenkirk as an actor in some other show he did, like a serious actor, and he just beats the snot out of people. I don't know what the movie's about, but the action looks pretty good. But my point is, you're not Bob Odenkirk. I'm not Bob Odenkirk. I don't know how it's going to go down. It's not a choreography. It's not preset. Let's say I wish I could fight like Errol Flynn. I wish I could fight like, the Princess Bride, the guy with the sword. But I can't. Now the guy is on top of me. He's choking me or he's grabbing me. He's already hit me a couple times. My eyes are blurry. My nose is watering. I'm a little weak in my knees. I bring this up, bring it down, blast, rip that through, bust him in the face. That's where training comes in. When you prepare, hello Elwin, good to see you from Colorado. When you prepare, you don't have to panic. You don't perish when you prepare, so always prepare. Get this up, get it between the two of you, push first as hard as you can, blast them, rake, then that big old rifle butt attack. Smash here, bring this side down at an angle, right under the temple. Knock him out if you can. That's the best solution. If he's unconscious, it doesn't matter what tool he's got with him. He's got a knife, gun, doesn't matter. You knock him out, you don't have to worry about that. So go for those vicious, vital, the vital spots. Go for eyes, nose, mouth, anything you can remove or destroy. Eyesight, ability to breathe temporarily, permanently, ability to stand upright, ability to be awake because you smash in the head. So we always have to, I love this. Elwin says, love the stealth looking cane. I love those too. I like this one just because it looks like an everyday cane, right? It is. It's an everyday walking cane. It's a mobility device. I'm allowed to carry this wherever I go. Now, we've talked about two things. The first principle of close quarters self-defense tool, the walking cane self-defense, first principle of this one, in addition to pay attention around, situation awareness, is also, hello, George, it's good to see you. George Klaus is here, is get it into two hands when you can, right? Get it into two hands. The second principle is if they put their hands on you or you're already being beaten, attacked, you're already in the middle of the fight, get the cane between you as soon as you can. That means get it in that other hand again. Use it as a bar or a shield almost, and then blast, rake, bam, smash, right? Everything you can, simple moves. No, it's too late for this. I just had to throw that in there. It's too late for that. You can't do that. The guy's already pounding your face in. So get it between you. Boom, boom, boom. Smash, smash. And then that's the last principle of close quarters combat, or close quarters self-defense tool, walking cane self-defense, is you've got to go all in. The fight's not over till you win. Multiple strikes, back and forth, as hard as you can, over and over. Don't stop with one, don't stop with two. Stop when he's on the ground, unconscious, and the cops can come and swoop him up. This is self-defense. It's not stunt fighting. It's not supposed to be pretty, and you're probably not going to take him out with one strike. So don't stop at one. Always go all in. Now, let's say if you prefer, well, let's talk about if you carry two canes, because I know Matthew, I think Matthew's here, right? I know Matthew, you say you use the two canes. And so in this case, in Matthew's case, in your case, if you use a cane for mobility, right? That means you have to have the cane. I'm going to lower the camera, so stay with me. I don't want to make you nauseous. Not intentionally, right? You use one cane to walk with for mobility's sake, and the other cane for self-defense. Yeah, so Matthew says he has two. So now, in Matthew's case, we can't put it in the other hand because there's a cane in the other hand. That's okay. We're still going to apply some of the same principles. From here, with my weight on the one cane, I'm going to stick the other cane straight up, and I'm going to try to stick it right through his middle. Now, if he's closer, I can still bring this into his groin, but what I'm also going to do is I'm going to think about angles. What angles can I use to attack his thigh, hip, ribs, his arm, and his head? I'm going to start to use more of this turning of the shoulders and the hips and allow gravity and momentum to do more work, especially if you're using a self-defense cane. It's got a little bit more weight. Now you can, simply by turning and turning your hand just a little bit. Now, this reason that I'm choosing this one here is that, or this technique, is that it's not going to put, both of these can go through the, I have a client right now who's in Greece. He flew over with a cane similar to this one. He said everybody liked his cane. They wanted to look at it. No one said, what is that for? No one said, do you have any proof that you need that? Everybody just looked at it, admired it, scanned it, sat down on the plane with it, got to the other side, got off the plane with it, went through security in Greece, or at Munich, I think, Germany, then Greece. So yes, they're both approved for the airport. In this case, my weight's here. I turn my hips, my shoulders, and I bring that in. If I can go to the leg, go to the leg. If he's closer, I still have the same technique. Now, if I can switch my hand from this position into this back position and slide it up, Matthew, my weight is here, and I'm going to use this, and I'm going to always go from here straight in. Straight in is going to be the safest for your shoulders and your elbows, all your joints, when you have some mobility issues or you're not as strong as you used to be. From here, I'm coming straight in this way. So I turn my cane around, I'm going to slide it here, and I'm going to go straight in, and this is just going to become an extension of my fist. That becomes a big wooden knuckle right in the middle of his body, going into the soft spots of the solar plexus, into his throat, into his face. If I turn it a little bit, I can hit that throat. You can crush someone's throat and they fall to the ground and asphyxiate and die before the cops can get there, and it's self-defense and you're defending your life. No one's going to hold you accountable for that. They're going to say, the bad guy got what he deserved. Eventually, maybe, who knows what goes on these days. But that's putting your cane in this position. Now, Matthew, give me some feedback if I'm wrong on here. In my uneducated opinion, I would imagine that because this is ergonomically better, see how turning the crook around, turning the crook toward the threat, that puts the cane kind of at the perfect angle for mobility. So this, it's almost like a crutch. This is stronger than the way a lot of people carry their canes like this. So if you haven't tried this and you turn this around, if you can make this work, this is gonna allow you to always be ready to slide that cane up into your hand and get that extension going forward. Now from here, because I'm using, so Matthew says I'm correct, one for balance, the other for striking and blocking a strike. Yes, so is this correct? This is how you're using it, Matthew? You're having this forward, right? Because this allows you to have better, when you lean, you're stronger here. It doesn't put as much pressure on your wrists. If you turn it around in the traditional way a lot of people carry them, you won't be as balanced. You don't have as much strength. There's not as much, it's not as easy on your wrists. So having it, Matthew says precisely, good. So you're already in this position. Putting one foot in front of the other, pop this up. If it's in the front hand, you can hit them. If it happens in the back hand, you can still hit them. After you strike with one, I want you to reach and rip, right? Let's say we're super close quarters combat, close quarters self-defense tool. I pop it up, I thrust anywhere I can right to the body, and then I simply turn, just a tiny little turn, and I can rake, pull this through. Now, you also have that first technique where you can turn from here. You hit him in the face, that backs him up a little bit, and then you bring this across, and that hits him on the side, and then you rake this straight down into his neck. Now with a cane like this, either one of these canes, see that little tip right there? That's designed, that beveled edge is designed to catch hold of and remove, for self-defense, flesh, right? Eyeballs, nose, teeth. So from here, pop it up, thrust, turn this through by just simply turning your shoulders and hips, rake back across, and then if you can, hit them with the other side and rake back across. But the same basic principles are the same. Principle number one, if you use just one cane, is get it into two hands. If you use two canes, you can't do that, so don't do that. But don't get stuck on, principles are always, they're not vague platitudes, but they're pretty generalizations, right? Oh, you can always change. There's always modifications. There's always ways that you can get something done. So instead of being stuck in here, pop it here or pop it here, go straight. Instead of two hands, go one hand, and then use what you've got. Bring this on top. Can you imagine what that might feel like right on top of someone's head? You might not know this, but I do because we've trained this way. I've trained this way for a long time. Putting some pressure on the top of somebody's head with a point like your elbow, or in the case of like a Kubotan or another not edged weapon, but like something with a little bit of a blade like that. See how this has got that teardrop shape? And you put that on there, there's a lot of nerves on the top of your head. That causes a lot of pain. Now you don't have to be very strong to reach up and stick this on the top of his head and using your body weight drop and pull that down. You only need a little bit of pressure on the top of their head to pull them down. But you can also stick it in the back of their head, stick it in their neck, stick it in their shoulder blade, stick it in that muscle back there, stick it right in their chest, and just rip and pull. But it's just this idea of immediate direct explosive, close with and destroy. Always ask yourself the question, what targets can I remove or destroy? They call that seek and destroy, right? Like a heat-seeking missile or a laser-guided bomb. What can I seek? It's eyes, nose, ears, mouth, throat, anything through the center, anything that's soft, a lot of tissue, cartilage that's gonna crush easier than bone. I'm gonna stick my cane right through it. So practice those. Matthew, give me some feedback in the comment section below. What works, what doesn't work? What else can we work on as a team? Because this is a global dojo. We're all in this together. We're all learning together. It's different than the COVID. We're not all in the COVID together because they have different roles in different places. But we're all in this cane self-defense world. We're all learning how to use these things much more effectively and practically, not just fancy, but for self-defense. You guys have been awesome. I'll see you on the next one. Please give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe. Pass this along to somebody else who might want to see it. Thank you.